Don't wait for extraordinary opportunities. Seize common occasions and make them great. Orson Swett Martin. I'm Lucas Grimes, and I'm going to be talking to you a bit about this sort of concept. We've all had a moment with sweaty hands and an uneasy stomach when we're trying to get ourselves to do something that it just seems far from us. It's so difficult for us to do, and we have a barrier preventing us from doing it. How many times have you failed to break through that threshold, and how many times has an opportunity slipped from you and then not appeared in the next moment? So often you may say that the next moment, that you'll do it in the next moment. But with that sort of mentality, you likely won't do it in the next moment. Because what's stopping you from saying it again and again and going to a vicious cycle of this? It's likely that it won't even present itself again. Anyways, I feel really strongly about this matter as it is fundamental to living life to the fullest. And if you're stuck in a cycle like that, something has to change, and it has to be in you. Every moment is sacred, and we must be intentional and realize the value of the time we're given if we're going to carpe diem. You could wait until tomorrow, but it's probably not going to be there again. You're not promised that, because you're not even promised a tomorrow. You could die tomorrow. That's the thing about a moment, the moment you're in. That's one of the many reasons why it's so precious, because everyone could be your last. Everyone has infinite value within it. Since you can't control the future, and you can't be certain that a better chance will come, what can you control? And is waiting really the best course of action? The actions that you make in the present moment are all that you can control. You have to make them count. All you've got is right now. Emily Dickinson said, quote, "Forever is comprised of nows," end quote. Every moment that you're in is sectioned off from the past and from the present. No amount of worrying about the past will change the present. No amount of worrying about the future will change the present. You just have to do what you can in the moment to make your future's past better and to make your future better. CD, meaning a carpe diem time perspective, is understood as the total focus of attention on the here and now, accompanied by a perception of the value of every moment as unique, the only one of its kind. Sambol-Kopinska M. and their colleagues in their article, "What Do We Gain by Adding Time Perspective to Mindfulness?" Carpe Diem and Mindfulness in Temporal Framework, from the journal Personality and Individual Differences. Now, all of this isn't to say that waiting is never the best option, because sometimes there really are things that they may not be wrong to do entirely, but in the moment it's foolish. And I'm not discrediting anyone who says that you need to wait and have discernment, because that is true. But there certainly are times when we have to seize something in the moment, or else we may never get the chance again. So you have to weigh it out and use discernment to know whether letting go of that opportunity carries enough weight, and if it's going to be detrimental for you to act in the moment. I'm gonna play a clip from Kung Fu Panda that's been hanging above my head.
You are too concerned with what was and what will be. There's a saying, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, But today is a gift. That is why it is called a present.
I'm pretty sure that is the wisest turtle I've ever heard speak. It's kind of funny how similar what Master Uguay just said is to this quote. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow has not yet come. We have only today, let us begin. That's a quote from Mother Teresa. Probably they drew inspiration, I don't know. But wise turtle, wise lady. If those quotes weren't good enough for you, here's a quote from Jesus Christ himself, who said, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." Matthew 6:34. This is the NIV translation. God doesn't want us to worry about the future. It causes us pain, and we should be grateful that we have a God who doesn't want us to feel pain. He wants us to have joy in the moment. And that's not to say he wants us to succumb to fleeting desires and things, but he wants us to have joy in every moment, joy that lasts. In that passage, God was speaking about how he will provide for us. And that is comfort to know that, and it can keep us from worrying. And God knows that worrying can mess up the way we love people in the moment. It can prevent us, it can take our attention off of the present, which prevents us from sharing his love the way he wants us to. Because we can only love people in the present. That's the only way we can show people love. Every moment is sacred, and we should strive to use them to their fullest potential. Wasting time is worse than wasting money. If you compare someone who wasted all of their time to someone who wasted all of their money, and I'm not saying someone who went into debt with their money, because thankfully that can't really be compared, because thankfully you can't go into time debt. If we could go into time debt, holy crap, humans would be way more messed up than they are right now even. Everyone would probably have time debt. Most people have money debt. So when we dig into this idea of season and day, we come across the term mindfulness. And I'm going to define mindfulness as a state of letting go of the past and future, choosing instead to focus on being aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. I believe that mindfulness is something that really does align with God's will for our lives. I'm not talking about Buddhist meditation and things. I'm not talking about the enlightenment or trying to clear your mind of thoughts. That's not what mindfulness is about in the definition that I'm using. I'm not talking about clearing your mind entirely, because if you take everything out of your mind, well, first of all, you can't take anything out of your mind, but if you try to, you're going to create a vacuum and something else is going to get pulled into that spot. You can't always determine what's going to get pulled in to that spot, but you can determine what's in your mind by putting something good into it. Instead of taking things out, put things in that are good, and then you choose what you think about. Seize it all. Be present in everything. Find joy in relationships in all parts of life. Don't wait until your ducks are all in a row. It says Vershir C, later saying Carpe Omnia in her article titled Carpe Diem, from British Columbia Medical Journal. So Carpe Diem means seize or pluck the day, which you may already know. But Carpe Omnia, it means to seize everything. It's taking and expounding upon the idea of Carpe Diem. Carpe Diem is this moment now, which is more important than any other moment because it's the only one you can do something in. But carpe omnia is meaning to do it with every moment that comes. Don't waste any of it, but use all of it to its best potential. You've heard the term present, and a bit from Brashear's article, and this is a pretty common term, and it's something that comes up as a theme in carpe omnia, carpe diem, and in mindfulness. And you just heard Master Ugui talk about it. From the state of mindfulness, you can really see God's beauty in nature, and in more than just nature and people and all little things around, because you're seeing the moment through a clearer lens, through what it really is, and you're able to perceive your surroundings better. Santosh and Darulia K wrote in their article, Impact of Trait Mindfulness on Depression Among Clinical and Non-Clinical Groups of Indian Adults, from Indian Journal of Positive Psychology, that practicing mindfulness can reduce depression. And the benefits of mindfulness, or present-mindedness, are evident in those who practice such. They're not worried about the past, they're not getting anxious about that, or they're not beating themselves up about what's already happened and worrying about what they can't change, and they're not worrying about what will happen. They're focused on what's going on right now, and that brings people so much peace. God wants you to have that peace. Those who have felt the benefits of being in the present are wise to see the value of it. They know that there's no better moment to live in than the one that they are in. So in conclusion, every moment holds a sacred glowing light, and you'll never make the most of your life and never make the most of all of these moments until you realize that. When we seize the day, we do what we can at the moment we're in, and we embrace the beauty of what is here in the right now. We take opportunities and we don't fret about what has passed. I urge you to come to the present and seize the moment you're in right now. It's rather nice here in the present. That's all.